This guide was requested by Alpha. He just wanted all the collectibles, but I'm going to also add in the achievements, so if you watch this video from start to finish, you should hopefully get all 100% of the achievements. Also, this game is very linear, so I don't really need to explain where I am because you always come to the location as I'm showing. So hopefully you should recognize the location as we come to it. Alright guys, here we go. So for the first achievement, we're going to grab the Angel's Carpenter. So basically all we need to do is hit the highest point of the wall run and then activate our little hook thing. So this is pretty self-explanatory, so just get into a suitable place and all you have to do is hit the highest point of your wall run and then attach another hook. That's all you have to do. Here we go, for our first collectible, once we have climbed up just a little bit during our adventure up the cliff, we'll get to this point where we see all these fish nets, or these trapping devices. Now as we proceed up the stairway and go to the top of the ladder, you will find your very first collectible. This will be located to the left as soon as you leave this area. Just look to the left before we go and you will find your first letter, I do believe this is. And now for your very first shell. Once you perform your very first rope swing to get to this location, after you climbed up, ignore the doorway to the right and go directly up and you'll see a ladder. Just to the left of that ladder, you will find your very first shell. And now directly from the previous shell, now once we climb that ladder next to you, climb to the very top and then go to the right and you will find your next letter on the side next to the sawmill. Alrighty, so once you have done yet another rope swing and eventually you'll come into this area. Once again, all this is part of the story, so you can't miss it. So once you have made your way up to this area, and now from here you want to go down. Underneath this bridge section, you will find your next collectible. And now for our next new collectible. So once we go into this cave section, once again, this is be totally obvious when we get here. Just a word of warning, don't go up there and search because we literally have to come this way anyway. So before that, we want to go this way into the caves. So as we make our way to the next set of stairs, you'll see these green things run away from you. And then you'll find your new collectible right here. Once you make it, then you'll get the achievement for completing your first one. From the last location, now just head up the steps and you'll directly see your letter of number 4 located on your left. And now once we've collected this letter, we can now proceed on to the tower directly behind us. And now after the scenery of the tower and the background, just before we get to the tower itself, we want to go to the right side. And then you'll find a little camp section here. This will be your next letter. Now proceeding on, go to the right side again and go around the back and you will find your next collectible. This will be the Cairn, I think they're called, but Cairn, I think it's Cairn. Anyway. One of these things. Pretty much from the last location, now just climb the ladder directly in front of you and then make a left. This will be your next letter. Well, since I've been here already, I might as well show you from the last location. This is pretty simple to get to the top. Use the stairs on the left side of the tower. And now we're going to look out for an object that we can pull down. So like a bridge that we can pull down. There we go. There's that pesky bridge. Not sure why it reset itself. I've already been here before. Once we pull this down, just run directly over and you will find your next new collectible. Yay! Gotta love new ones. So from the last location pretty much, as you leave that building, you want to climb this tower up to the top and eventually you will get to this section. Once you do that, before going up the ladder even further, you will find your final letter directly to the right hand side here. Okie dokie. So once we have done the big tower, and eventually once we get to the end, we need to start climbing upwards. So with our newfound little buddy here on our shoulders, when we get to the first opening with the vines, so once we have moved the vines to get this location, it's all part of the story. But make sure you proceed on before carrying on up, and then go into the caves, and this will be your first new secret. So go right next to the and press the echo button, and that'll be it for this one. And now this is just after you climb up to the very top, so almost from the last location. So once you climb to the top, you want to start to leave, and then you'll see your next one on the right hand side. Basically, with your new friend, you can actually interact with him, but since I'm playing a keyboard on the mouse, for me it's control button, or the control key. So just literally do this 20 times, or you can do it throughout the game, but if you want to get it over and done with, you can just sit here and just do it 20 times. Also, this is another straightforward one. So as we are climbing, we have to use our echo thing to make some stuff on the wall to grow. Then once we proceed up the planked wall or something, or the fence, we'll get straight to this location. So the correct way to go, from my knowledge, I haven't really transferred too far ahead yet, but is this direction to the right. But if we just jump to the left, the game will give us like a notification saying we can double jump off the walls to get up a bit further. Now if you just go to the left here, you will be in the area of the shell. And now this is quite a tricky bit to get up to, but eventually you will come up here where you need to grow 3 of these plants to climb to the very top. Eventually once you do that, you'll be in some sort of very small village section. So to the right hand side, you should hopefully definitely see the letter just on the wall as you climb up. Alright, so once you have left the altar, and then you want to go up the ladder. The ladder is very close by to where the altar is located. Once you come up here, once again, this area is all part of the story, so you need to come here anyway. Before going up the steps, look to the left. On the table, you will find the next note. Alright, so this one doesn't really need to be shown much. So once you have grabbed the previous collectible, then you want to go through the only path you can that is located down below there. Then you want to go all the way to the very tip of the top until you get to this location. You will have to trigger the shortcut or the mechanism to go back down, and you'll see a bridge that you need to pull down. Just before you do that, you will find your next shell, so make sure you watch it. I think it's forced you to watch it anyway, but after you watched it, and then you got it. I do like these collectibles. So for this collectible, this is very easy to find. So once you have progressed up the mountainside, once again, all part of the story, you'll be ran directly into this collectible. This will be the next letter. Alright, so once we start chapter 3, all we need to do for this one, just do a 180 and go back past the hole that we climbed up through to find your third journal. Alright, so as you go down the long rope, and eventually you'll come to this ladder here that you need to climb to the top. Now once we have climbed this ladder, you want to go to the left before you go to the right. Once again, all these places are pretty simple to find because we have to go through these areas. And now onto your left hand side, you will find a letter number 15. And now once we've done some more climbing, and eventually you'll get to this location. Once again, this is another place that you will definitely have to come to. So before going into the building or the doorway on your left, go to the very bottom. You need to activate some flowers to get down there, or sorry, to get back up I should say. But if you go to the very bottom of this section, you will find your ladder. And now once we have made it over by using the windmill. Now to find your letter, just follow the only path you can. Once again, all this path is part of the story. go towards the tree on your right hand side, and that's where you'll find your letter number 20. What can I say about this achievement? This one wasn't too bad, to be honest. If you just follow the path that I take, and you should be a-okay. Basically, all we need to do is slow down or stop these little critters from moving around. So then eventually they all should bundle up together to hopefully get us 25. But I'm pretty convinced there was not 25 in my location. Maybe the little rocks on the right counted as them as well, because I was right next to that when I did get the achievement. But like I said, I'm not really convinced that you do actually need 25 together. It says from a single echo, but I don't believe that. All this takes is trial and error. And now for your next collectible. So now as we go to the very top, so once we have done the achievement, just keep going up until we get to this location. Before going up the ramp, go to your left and you will find your next collectible. Right, this one needs a bit more explaining. So basically, once you've got the previous collectible, and then you have to climb the mountainside. Of course, you have them little critter things on the walls, and then eventually you can come up here. So on the left or right side, there are two ways to get up here. You can go left, that will be a ladder. You can go to the right, that climbs the cliffside area. Don't go too far to the right, I'm going to show you right now. So don't go up there. If you have, then you've gone too far. Just backtrack and go down this direction. So once again, all this is literally part of the story, but this part here, you don't really need to come here whatsoever. So you won't recognize this place if you go too far. And now after we got the previous collectibles, we now want to go to that part where I told you not to go to, because that's where we need to go now. Welcome to chapter 4. So basically once we start, we just climb up this very short gap here. And then once you go back inside, you want to use your rope and do a wall run to your left before we go right to carry on with the story. So make sure you go left from here and then go right once you've finished. I just want to clarify. So basically once you enter this mushroom zone now, this is the first thing you'll see. Now before going left to continue on with the story, we now want to go right and head back into the caves. Just want to clarify things. So basically, once you start level 5, you just want to just climb up as normal, but also try to stay as far right as possible as you climb up. Eventually, we will find a windmill that has a green cloth attached to it. This is very important. Once you see that, you want to go to the right side and then climb up. If you, for some reason, you go left, then you will miss this section here. As far as I know, you cannot miss that green windmill with the cloth on it. So once you do see the green thing, make sure you go right before you go left. And now welcome to chapter 6. As we crash land into chapter 6, all we need to do for this first achievement is go right next to the big old giant thing that's now turned to ice. Just go to the right side of him and then use your little thing to interact with it. Now as we make our way down this mountainside going towards the big tower, eventually you will run directly past another big thing, one of these big massive giant things. All we need to do for this one is go to the front side of it and interact once again to get the next achievement. All we need to do now is just beat the game and we'll get 100% of the achievements.